Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I am Applied Knowledge, and you are watching another behind the scenes of audio. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on all the social media that I have given you in the description below. Today, we're going to be talking about parallel compression, or another word, upward compression. And basically, what upward compression is you are bringing up the quiet parts of a sound or a signal. Um, and then there's downward compression, and that's just what your normal compressor does. Is it brings down the levels if they're peaking too high or they're just standing out too far. Um, so those are some good things to know. So what is parallel compression? So parallel compression is a technique where you duplicate a signal and compress the copied signal. Um, and then you blend that signal, the compressed signal, back into the uncompressed signal. Um, so one thing to know is keep in mind that there are other factors. If you decide to look this up yourself, they're probably there. You'll get some engineers talking about peak and RMS that affects parallel compression, which may or may not be true. I don't know a whole lot about that. It's something that I got to research as well. But these are things that I have come across personally, and it just kind of went over my head, and it's going to take some more time to study. But I'm not going to talk about any of that peak RMS, all that other stuff. That's a little too technical. So I'm only just going to give a couple examples and just try to break it down and be as simple as possible, so you get a clearer understanding of what it is and what it can do for you. So moving on, why should you use it? I got this from the Pro Audio Files, and there are other reasons that you can use this. So one is to get an in-your-face sound, uh, and the second is to bring out a specific tone in the signal. So basically, these parallel compression is commonly used on drums like kicks, snares, and stuff like that. Um, so to me, the in-your-face sound is just like it self-explanatory, exactly what it says. It's like it stands out. It's no matter what, you're gonna hear that sound. You know what I'm saying? If it's your kick drum that you're using parallel compression with, it's gonna stand out. It's not gonna be hiding behind other sounds. It's gonna stand out. It's in your face. And then the second is to bring out a specific tone in the signal. So say that you wanted more of your low end of a kick drum. So basically what you would do on the signal that you duplicated, that you're compressing, you would just load up an EQ. And if you wanted more low end, basically you would just apply a high pass filter to that, and then um, just begin to blend that back in with the compressed signal after you set all the settings that are commonly used. Like I said, you can use settings, you can use any kind of settings you want, but I'm just going to give you the ones that are typically used. Um, so yeah, we'll go from there. So before getting in too deep, the first thing you should know is what you want to accomplish. So, and then I gave you those two examples above. Maybe you want a more in-your-face sound, a heavier, thicker drum, or maybe there's a specific tone that you want to stand out. Maybe you want more click, or you want the bottom end a little more, or maybe you want more mid-range. So those things, um, just a couple examples. So I'm going to give you two scenarios. The first is going to be how to get the in-your-face sound, and then the second will be the specific tone and how do you accomplish that. There are multiple ways to set up parallel compression, but for this example, we'll be using pretty dramatic settings. Um, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to duplicate a signal. So if you got a kick drum on the track, what you're going to do, depending on what program you're using, you're just going to make an aux track or send it to another track and name that kick to or kick comp. And that's going to be your the signal that you're going to be using the compression on. Um, Next, you're going to load up the compressor on that track, the kick comp or whatever signal you plan on using for compression. Now we're gonna go to the settings, and like I said, you can use whatever settings you want. Feel free to experiment. It's not gonna be the same every time, but whatever. It's all about using your ear and what works for you and what you're trying to achieve. So the first thing you're gonna do is, in this case, just set your threshold all the way as low as it can go, whatever, -60, 100, whatever it can go to. The second thing is set the attack as fast as possible. Um, the third thing, use a ratio of 2 to 1. If you go higher with the ratios, you can expect a distorted sound. So if you use anything less than 2 to 1, it's probably going to be a little more natural for you. Fourth thing, the release. Set the release to about medium slow. So about 300 to 500 milliseconds. Fifth thing, bring the compressed signal all the way down. So on the compressed track, bring that fader all the way down and begin to blend it back in with the uncompressed signal until you get that sound that you're looking for. So just to sum all that up, because you probably have questions, okay, all right, but what does setting a fast attack actually do? So just forgetting about parallel compression and just looking at regular downward compression. So when you set a fast attack, what does that what happens with that? Typically, when you set a fast attack, you lose a lot of transients, and we're just going to use that kick drum just for an example. And so yeah, you set a fast attack, you lose a lot of transients. If you set a slower attack, you get more of those transients back. So that's just what that is. And the same thing for the release. Yeah. So yeah, that would be how you get your the more in your face sound. But like I said, it's a matter of just playing around with it and trying to figure out what you're trying to accomplish with that. Now, usually what this is going to do, it's probably going to give you a more heavier, thicker drum. So yeah, really, when I used it, it was, I didn't use these exact settings. See, I had to play around with it just to get, because I wanted more punch in my drum. So what I did was I did the second scenario where which is what I'm getting ready to show you, targeting the specific sound because I wanted more punch. So parallel compression can also be used like an EQ. So we'll use a snare for this example. So say you want to bring out more of the low end, mid range of the snare. So on the duplicated signal, you would use a high pass filter, and then same rules apply. You just once you do that, you bring the fader down and you bring it back up, and you begin to blend it in. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Sorry if I kind of went over your head a little bit, but please feel free to ask questions. If there was something that I didn't cover that you want me to cover, please feel free to say something, drop a comment, leave a message, shoot me an email. appliedknowledgeproduction@gmail.com. That's me. So really, I just want to thank you again for watching. Like I said, I hope I made this plain and simple to you, but if you have questions, feel free to do that. But yeah, thank you for watching.